Hey everybody, this is Michael Duman with We Merge Media, and today is Tech Talk Tuesday. Today's episode is about how to make money with podcasting. I'll share 4 different ways that you can generate revenue for your business as a podcaster and an entrepreneur. And if you are new to this channel and new to Tech Talk Tuesday, I am a digital marketing coach and a consultant. I own a marketing services firm. I'm here in the studio with me is my daughter, Michaela. Together, we provide digital marketing services to small businesses and also provide coaching and courses, things that small businesses need in order to learn how to use technology so they can work smarter and not harder. This year, we opened up a new topic, something that we're going to be helping people with, and that is specifically about podcasting. The reason we chose this is because so many people are starting to hear about it and want to get into it. And traditionally, we have this concept that podcasting is just something that people do as a hobby for storytelling. But I'm here to tell you, for those of you who are business owners, this is the potential for you to open up another revenue stream for your business. And I'll talk about today how and why you can do that. So I titled today's episode, How Podcasts Make Money. I'm going to walk you through 4 ways that I know of that I can communicate with you today. Of course, there's more, but none of these 4 ways are going to be dependent on you having to be a major celebrity with a huge audience. Okay. So I'm going to talk about those 4 different things. And then if you have questions or you have some ideas, maybe there's some ones that you thought of that I didn't, feel free to share with those of us in the comments. So first, let's start a little bit about defining podcasts, because when I first got into podcasting, it was about audio files. So when I looked up the definition today to see what podcasting is, they describe it as an episodic series of digital audio files that a user can download to a personal device for easy listening. Now, traditionally, that is exactly the format that podcasts came in. I still use it today. Don't always have to download them, but the downloads actually help the podcaster when you do that, because that's the way the platforms kind of track. But what's happening is that people are following the method that I'm always talking about, recording video content so that they can have content for YouTube, but then taking the audio from that video and then distributing it through the audio platform. So now you have audio and video podcast content. So it's no longer just limited to the audio that people are used to. Proof of that is just a couple of weeks ago, actually back a couple months ago, Spotify announced that they're adding video content to their platform, and I actually submitted Tech Talk to be considered and was accepted. So my video series for Tech Talk Tuesday will be on Spotify soon. So I don't want you to think that it's only limited to audio. It's audio and video, but I also don't want you to feel that it's only limited to content that is typically like storytelling. When I first started listening to podcasts, there was a lot of educational content for business owners. There's sports shows. The news channels have their content. So perfect example, they're rebroadcasting their news broadcasts as podcast content on these platforms. So it's not new. It's always been there. But what I'm doing is talking about you, business owners. You can do this too. And you can take the content, whatever your industry expertise is, and distribute it in a similar fashion. So I show all these platforms here because I want you to start reimagining podcasting and not limiting it to just audio files. Videos that you have can be uploaded to Facebook and to YouTube. Instagram has long form content where you can put longer stuff up to, I think, an hour or so. So all of these are platforms that your content can be distributing on. TikTok, Apple Podcasts, Google. TikTok is a great way to kind of promote your podcast and get more people over to it, so you can kind of highlight it there and then draw people there. Then when it comes to LinkedIn, I recently converted my LinkedIn profile to a creator profile, which now allows me to live stream directly to LinkedIn. So I don't know if we have anybody watching from there yet, but we are there. So that's the cool thing about StreamYard, that it allows me to be in all these places at one time. So let's go ahead and dive into what the 4 different methods are and see what you think. So let's start the simple things. So number 4 is promoting your own products and services. Now, there's been a number of times that I'm listening to a podcast and I hear a guest who might be on, or the host even, talking about something that they offer as a product or service. I've learned about coaching programs this way. I've learned about courses this way. I'm listening to it because the topic interests me. But what happens is that they have a way to be able to use that time as an opportunity to kind of build value in what their products or their services are. So let me give you an example from my own world. Last week, maybe 2 weeks ago, I made one about how to create your first podcast episode. And I gave some instruction about, how do you plan for that? What do you go through for that? But at the end of that, I had the opportunity to offer people who want that coaching help an opportunity to buy my product or my service. So this is one way that you can turn that podcast platform into a vehicle to be able to start generating revenue for your business and promoting that. Think about the power of someone tuning in to a video or to an audio on a topic of something that they know they have a need with, and then being able to really get the value from it because you can use that to really go into detail, something that a banner ad or a flyer is not going to do. They have a chance to hear from you, to really have you demonstrate what it is that you offer there on that podcast, if it's video, or talk about it in detail if it's audio. So that's a great way to be able to support revenue creation and generation, is by using your podcast for that. Let's move over to number three. This is something that I admittedly don't do enough of. And one of them is kind of bringing my podcast, using my podcast platform to promote my affiliate relationships. So I have affiliate relationships with a number of different companies that pay hundreds of dollars to me every month that I'm not even incorporating into my podcast. But what I could do and will do is start making podcast content around those affiliate partners, products, and services. So the number four was about using my own, but now I'm talking about content that I can get from affiliates. You've seen this before. You'll watch a video. I watched a video today where someone was talking on a topic and they directed people to a reference to a link in the description that went to Amazon. So they were not even directing to something that they own. They were directing people to Amazon links. Why? Because they're an Amazon affiliate. So I've even seen people pull up on a video, and they'll have a series about a specific topic, and they'll say, "Hey, here are some tools that'll help you with this," and they'll put Amazon links down in the link. And guess what? That's driving people through to their affiliate links. So you can use your affiliate partners as a way to be able to kind of generate revenue through there. A lot of the partners that I have are makers of software, tools that I know that my clients use. So I can really do some in-depth videos and wrap it as a podcast episode to kind of educate people on a topic, and then have my call to action redirect to that affiliate link. So that's the third way that you can do that. So number two, believe it or not, you can sell your own advertising directly within your podcast. So check this out. Everybody thinks that, you again have to be some big brand or some big company in order for people to want to be in front of your audience. And that's not the case. So one of the things that you can do is think about the small businesses, or think about people who would value being in front of your audience. So like for example, on Tech Talk, I know that I have an audience of entrepreneurs who tune in for Tech Talk because they want to know about digital marketing tools. If I have a company who makes a tool that I think is going to be beneficial for my audience, I can say, "Hey, how would you like to run one of your 30-second videos inside of my podcast?" And I can play it at the top and at the end of my podcast. So the same way when I started today's episode, I played that little clip of me kind of setting up what today's topic is. I could easily just charge people to either do like per episode or for the season, whatever I decide, to have those ads placed in there. All I would need them to do is record their video, provide me with a finished file, and then upload that right here to StreamYard. And then I could play those commercials right throughout if I wanted to. So you can sell advertising directly. Think about who would benefit from being in front of your audience. I guarantee there's going to be somebody who would benefit from that. Okay. But of course, you have to be making the content and you have to be building up your audience. Keep that in mind too. You have to be doing your part. But there's another opportunity to do that. Last but not least, the last way that I have here is think about your podcast as a virtual stage. So as you build your audience and you start attracting more people, you're going to get to the point where you're going to have companies who want to do like brand deals and sponsorships with you. people who may want to come and speak to your audience. So you can offer packages or sponsorship packages that are going to give people that time. A lot of time people do have guests on their shows for free, but nobody said that it has to be free. It's up to you how you decide to do that. And it's up to them if they decide that your audience is worth paying to have that time in front of them. So let's say, for example, you were going to do a episode on something that's very in depth, and you want to kind of put that together as if you're putting together an in-person event. And someone's looking for a stage to come on and speak on about this topic, and it relates to your content. Why couldn't you do the same thing that people do for in-person and charge a fee for that to be able to do that? It works just the same. There are still people who have budgets they need to spend in order to get in front of a certain audience. So your podcast can be one of those ways. So this is the reason why I say to you as business owners, rethink the way that you view podcasts and really think about this as another medium of you being able to kind of communicate with an audience, build an audience, of course, position yourself and your brand to be relevant to the people that you need, but also start thinking of it as a revenue stream. That's one of the things that I'm focusing on for this year. I talked about how I'm not utilizing my affiliate partnerships the way that I should and incorporating that content. If I can write a blog post about an affiliate partner, why couldn't I do a podcast episode about it? That blog post could be my script for the video. Same thing. So think about who your partners are, think about who your audience is, and think about who benefits, who has the budget to want to get in front of those people. It's probably worth their time. If they have a product or a service that they might sell for hundreds or thousands of dollars, but they're only paying you a fraction of that and get in front of that audience and they get one sale, guess what? It's worth it to them. So start thinking about your platform in that way. And when you're following the method that I'm teaching through the video podcasting program, you're not only going to be on one place, you're going to be on Facebook and YouTube podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts. So you can really build up a nice story and a nice reach if you consistently create your content and you find out who your audience is and you just keep creating that content and find the people who are going to benefit from that. That's the 4 different ways that you can monetize your podcast platform, start generating additional revenue in your business. All right, people. So another episode in the books. We're going to be looking to see you again next week. I want to remind you that we have the free Facebook group, Video Podcasting for Beginners, that you can join. Anyone can join. I have a lot of different tips and resources and tools inside there. And if you go through that and you decide, you know what, like I really want to start a podcast and I want some guidance for that, there's a way to be able to sign up for coaching inside the program. So we're getting into that. I'm actually going to be starting another channel. I know I didn't tell y'all yet, but I'm going to be starting a second YouTube channel. I'm going to say reviving a second YouTube channel. So thanks everybody for tuning in for Tech Talk Tuesday. It's always a pleasure to be here with you, and I look forward to seeing you next week.